ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹੋ।
ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹੋ।
I've started to realize that COVID is not going anywhere. It's going to stay with us. So that's one thing which has been ingrained into the people's minds now.
There's been a bit more of a focus on community and the realization that our actions actually can impact others in our community, our family, our friends, society.
Springwood, it's an interesting place because it's out of regional Sydney, but it has a very small town sort of vibe. And with any small town, everybody knows everyone. Given the community itself has such an elderly population, it has quite a vulnerable population at times as well. The issue that's come up is loneliness and isolation for people.
You know, the community is based a lot around central institutions like the temple, and when that goes sort of down and the social part of their life kind of goes, they need to be able to have close friends and family that they actually interact with in a different way.
A loss of hope, a feeling of not knowing where you're going, and that is the source of fear. And fear leads to fatigue and anxiety.
We're all going through this together, so it's almost like we're all running on empty. And the ability to actually support ourselves first and sort of fill up, you know, and be mentally well so that we can support other people as well.
It's about maintaining human connection, which is an absolute basic necessity.
Because you're not able to go to people's houses, you're not able to step inside their homes, people who were already isolated became more isolated.
I feel that children's being looked after by parents at home with no contact with their peers, reduced physical activity, increasing screen time has been a challenge for the parents as well as for the kids.
You might be noticing that your personality might have changed, you might be more irritable or aggressive, you could be withdrawn.
Sadness, loneliness and emptiness. Just imagine just talking to yourself 24/7. It's been very hard.
The signs that I notice with people to indicate that they're struggling quite a bit is, in particular, those who are quite social, just seeing them disappear and seeing them not turn up to events, not reply to messages, and seeing them disappear off social media and just kind of retreating.
It's been something that we've been seeing in general practice almost day after day, because we've been dealing more and more with patients who are finding themselves getting agitated and upset, finding that they always have a very short straw, that they're always feeling like they've got less left to give.
To foster that resilience, we need to foster connection. So if you're feeling like, you know, that you're not coping with what's happening with COVID or it's interfering with your life, you need to connect with your family and friends and talk about it, or to seek professional help.
Everybody has a different set of coping mechanisms, and most of the time our coping mechanisms have been developed in our 20s or our 30s. They're developed very early on. But as life changes and the nature of those stressors change, we often don't change our coping mechanisms. And so for a lot of people, they don't realise this until, say, they go clubbing or partying in their early 30s or late 30s, and they realise it doesn't give them the same buzz, or it doesn't have the same effect that it did before, because it's not the same coping mechanism. It doesn't work at that stage of life. And COVID is no different.
Fear factor is known to reduce the immune response of the human beings. So if you take the DEM out of pandemic, it becomes panic. So don't panic, for God's sake, don't panic.
3 common A's is acknowledge the distress, learn, take action, acceptance, and appreciate.
I think from a medical point of view, our main role right now is to actually just encourage people to think about their own personal risk, to think about the risk of the situation that they're about to go into, to then take measures to try and minimise that risk. And those measures can include vaccination, they can include wearing masks, they can include having hand sanitizer with you.
ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹੋ।